Welcome to Paw Prints on the Mountain. I'm Deena Pace. I'm the director of the Humane Society of the White Mountains. So Debbie Torbet, our shelter manager, is here today. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about maybe all the animals we get in. How do we get them all in?
A lot of times we get the majority of them from strays. We do occasionally have owner surrenders when they can't keep their animal for whatever reason. Actually, we got 2 guinea pigs in just yesterday.
Oh.
And the family had allergies, so they weren't able to keep them. So we're working on getting them into a rescue.
A guinea pig rescue.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah. And animal control brings strays, whether it's a quarantine from a bite case or just a regular stray from running down the road. And I think that's really about all how we get our animals.
So Debbie, let's talk a little bit about how far away we get some stray animals, because we both know they come a long way, some of them.
We've had dogs come from Globe. They come from Concho, White River. We get dogs from all over. Snowflake, east of Snowflake is the big one.
Right. And you know what I find a lot of times when I'm in the front office over there is that people traveling pick up stray animals. Mm-hmm. And they may be coming up from Phoenix and pick them up in Payson or Heber, wherever, and bring them to us, don't they?
Yes.
And this makes it very difficult for people to ever get reunited with their animals. So what's some of the things that we can educate people on how to make sure that they could get their animal back?
Microchipping, definitely. That's like an ID tag that they can never lose, so that's the biggest one, I would say. If they don't have the funds to do a microchip or even just a little ID tag, they can even just write their phone number on the collar, right, so that then they can get their dog back home quicker.
Right. And really, microchipping is not that expensive through us, is it?
No, it's only $20.
Right. And you know, we've had animals in with microchips. Well, let's take the one that came out of Phoenix and was found by Shumway.
Yeah, so she was microchipped, and when I called the microchip company, they gave me the owner's information, and she had actually been missing from him for over a year. So he was kind of shocked whenever I called him, and he didn't know really what to say.
Right.
At that point, but.
Right. So microchips are great as long as you keep your current information up. If you move or change your phone number, you need to call your microchip company, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then let's talk about some of the reasons spaying and neutering is so important, especially, this time of the year, I always say love is in the air.
Yes, definitely.
And love is in the air, isn't it?
Yes. We've had a lot of puppies and kittens come around so far. But the main thing I could think of is not only keeping them from roaming, is there a lot of different diseases and cancers that each male or female animal could get. There's different like breast cancers that the dogs could get, or there's also testicular cancer that the male dogs or cats could get.
Right.
So spaying and neutering is very important.
Right. And right now we have a stray that's been with us for quite a while that has gone through some mammary cancer.
Yes.
Removal, correct?
Mm-hmm. So about 2 weeks ago, we just did, they call it a chain, where they take all of the mammary glands out of one side is one chain. And then on the other side, which she'll get probably next week, because they want the scar tissue and that to heal a little bit. And then they'll go through and do the other chain next week.
Right. And we've had other cases, and it's very successful doing this, isn't it?
Yep.
And they go on to live a full and long life.
Right. So. She actually did have a chest x-ray on Friday to make sure that the cancer hadn't spread, and it didn't. So.
And that's wonderful news.
So
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
she's a sweet girl, Paisley
she
is. So, and then once she's all healed from that, she'll be ready for that special forever loving home. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's really important that people know that we go that extra mile to save each and every animal that we possibly can.
I do too. Because we want what's best for each one of them.
We do. And we have our own spay and neuter clinic, and we offer those services to the public. So they can get a hold of us at 928 205-7415 to make an appointment to get your pet spay or neutered. And we can also microchip them while they're there.
Or vaccinations. Vaccinations are very important as well, especially the rabies vaccination. I do know that there have been several cases of rabies in the area, and you just want to make sure that your pets are current on their vaccinations.
Yes.
So if they do come over to the PAWS clinic and get spayed or neutered, they can get vaccinations at that time. Or also there's discounted vaccination clinics around town. I do know that there's one at PetSense just about every 6 weeks.
Oh, perfect.
And Tractor Supply and Cow Ranch also do them.
That's great. So when we come back, let's talk a little bit about our biggest fundraiser of the year, Happy Tails.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Paw Prints on the Mountain. Debbie, let's talk about Happy Tails.
I love Happy Tails. It's the funnest fundraiser of the year.
It is. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and we actually have already been working pretty steady on it already. We have our first volunteer meeting on it, June 6th. So Happy Tails is, we have a barbecue, we have a live auction.
The silent auction, there's blitz raffles, dessert auction, which is my favorite because someone will buy us a dessert and then they'll donate it to us.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
Last year there
awesome.
were several donated back
Yes.
over to the employees.
It was
So,
awesome.
yeah, and then there's also the raffle baskets, and all this is going on, and everything there is donated. That's what people
Yes.
need to know. Everything is donated. So now is a perfect time. You know, we're going to have volunteers out pretty soon, asking the businesses for a donation. And that's where our local community support is just amazing.
It is. It's
You know,
awesome.
It is. We already have some amazing things that are donated, and we'll be getting more. And what everyone needs to know is all that money raised that day comes right back to support those homeless animals that we serve daily over there.
Exactly. And we'll also be doing adoptions as well.
Absolutely. So perfect. And that's always a great adoption day for us, isn't it?
It is. A couple of years ago, we had a older dog that we had taken over to Happy Tails, and he got adopted. His name was Duke.
Yes.
And it was really exciting when he got adopted.
Yes. Duke is a whole other story, isn't he? How he
Yes.
came to us. And you know what? Duke lived a couple years with the best home ever.
He did.
So he got to finish out his retirement in his senior home. And the amount of volunteers that it takes to keep our organization going.
It takes a lot. I know at Happy Tails alone, I think last year we had, wasn't it right at 112 volunteers?
I believe you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So it takes everybody to not only Happy Tails, but to help out at the shelter and the doghouse as well.
Absolutely. We have endless list of volunteer opportunities with us.
Right.
And a lot of people say that they can't come to the shelter because it's so sad. I guess you and I and the people that are at the shelter all the time, we don't see it that way because we
Right.
see how far we have come in the last 8-10 years or whatever it's
Right.
taken us to get to where we're at. And so we don't see that sadness. We see how far we've moved forward. But there's other things for the volunteers to do. You can help us at our doghouse thrift shop. You can help us with our fundraising. There is just so much that needs to be done because we definitely can never afford to pay for everything that needs to be done for our
Right.
animals daily.
Or even in the front office, there's always clerical work or
There is.
even helping to take pictures of the dogs or cats that need to be put on the adoption line.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's just endless.
It is endless. It is endless, and we're very lucky with our volunteers. This
are.
time of the year, we have a lot of them come back to us every summer, and we thank you for coming back
Yes,
to us.
we do.
We also want to let you know that we can always use more. In winter times, we get pretty slim on volunteers. So
And not only volunteers, but fosters as well. Especially right now with all the puppies and kittens we're getting in, we need all the foster homes that we can get.
that's a really good point because fostering is also a form of volunteering.
Yes.
And what about like medical? We had talked about Paisley, and her mammary cancer surgeries she's going through, things like that.
Right.
And how many times do we have orphaned that need to be bottle fed?
Yep.
Litters of stuff.
A lot.
Yeah. Or even a mama and babies. It's just so much better for them to be in a home, isn't it? Than
It is.
at the shelter. Healthier wise?
Yes. And two, they get that bonding one-on-one with either a person or with their mom, and their mom teaches them different things where she may not at the shelter because she's so anxious or,
Right.
Different things like that.
Right. That is true. So we can always use more fosters, and again, that's a volunteer, and we supply. What do we supply for them?
The food, blankets. If it's a cat, we'll do litter boxes, food bowls. If it's puppies, we'll do puppy pads, toys. I mean, we'll supply everything you need to take care of them.
Right. And if they're being bottle fed, we'll give you the bottles or syringes and the formula that she'll need. So we definitely have a lot of opportunities that we can use volunteers. And I think that there's nothing more that we can appreciate of what a volunteer gives to us is giving of your time.
Absolutely.
Giving your time to make a difference in the animals that we're serving each and
Yep.
every day. We get pretty sensitive about our animals, and
Yeah.
we have volunteers that are right there with us, in this sensitivity
Yep.
because we are all they have. We are their voice.
We are.
And so we really have to roar, and the community roars with us. They celebrate our wins. Look at some of the animals that we've had. 12 months, 14 months, 2 years, we get them adopted, and everyone's so happy.
Right.
So, and another source of things, like I said, to volunteer with is at our doghouse thrift shop. Let's talk about our doghouse thrift shop when we come back. Welcome back to Paw Prints on the Mountain. We are the Humane Society of the White Mountains, and we are here to be the voice of the voiceless. So we're going to talk a little bit about our doghouse thrift shop. Our doghouse thrift shop is our everyday fundraiser to support the Humane Society. So when you donate there, know that donation is being turned around and being made into dollars to come right back to the Humane Society every day. So everything you spend there is coming right back to these homeless animals.
Right. And I can't tell you how many things I've bought over at the doghouse. So, and I know that it goes right back to taking care of the animals that we have.
Exactly, it does. And so right now we also have, today we just had a truckload of furniture come up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it's huge. We've got all kinds of things. So some of the things that we have over at our doghouse is the love seat came from there. The table came from there. So we have furniture, we have knickknacks, we have dishes, we have clothing. Good grief, we run weekly specials that you can always get even a better deal. So we're here to help our community, but we're also supporting the Humane Society by doing this.
Right.
Another chance for volunteers, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I do know that it does take all the volunteers they can get over at the thrift store because, I mean, they're putting stuff out just as fast as it's going out the front door.
Yes, absolutely. And so the doghouse is on their summer hours now, which is Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. And we accept gently used donations 10 to 4:30. Some of the donations we, accept is, how I always say it is, I have to go through my stuff and sort and I go, okay, so I've treasured this, but I've really wore it out. So really,
Right.
Is it going to help the animals, or is it just going to be...
Right. You have to look at it as if it was something, would you buy it again?
Exactly. That's exactly a good way to put it. So we also are under new management at our doghouse thrift shop.
Oh, okay.
So we'll probably bring Stacy, our new manager, maybe next month to introduce her here.
Nice.
So definitely stop in, see what we have available at our doghouse. Like I say, specials all the time.
And two, about the donations, and if you can't get it there, you do the pickups of the items.
Oh, great remembering that one, Debbie. Yeah, exactly. So if you've got big items, furniture, appliances that you cannot get to us, call us at 928-368-2248 and make arrangements, and we'll come out and get it from you.
Which is awesome.
It really is a
It's
good
like
service.
sometimes if you have a fridge or couch and your car's too small,
Right.
somebody else can come pick it up for you.
Absolutely, because we really and truly do cherish, and welcome your donations to help
Right.
us with these animals. The amount of money that goes into keeping every animal healthy and ready, getting them ready for adoption, has to come through our doghouse thrift shop and our fundraising efforts.
Right.
And that's, again, like I say, we do several fundraisers a year, right?
Yeah, we do.
And Happy Tails is our biggest, and that one is on August 25th.
Yes.
And a good thing about Happy Tails is we not only have all those different auctions going on, our doghouse has a general store there that day. So both the doghouse and all the staffing and stuff from the shelter are there to help raise money for these animals, but also to get out, and the public really gets to see the people that are, I call it, in the trenches, because you're in the trenches. I've been at both sides of this, at the shelter, and know how hard everyone works over there, and at the doghouse. I'm
We
over
do
there
have
right-
good crews at both places.
You know what? We have great crews between the staff and the volunteers. Really, these animals are very blessed.
They are. And I think a lot of them don't know that they're homeless.
Oh, boy, isn't that isn't that the truth? How many times do we have them turn up their nose at a treat?
Right, exactly. Like,
You know,
do
it-
remember you're homeless, right?
Exactly, and they're like, no, we're not. We're loved right here. We get,
Right.
we get our meals, and they have no worries. But
Right.
yeah, they do not realize, some of them, that they are homeless, and some of them have it a lot better there at our shelter than they had running on the streets, don't they?
Yep.
So, again, like we say, we are open at the shelter
10:30 to 5, Tuesday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturdays.
That was a mouthful for
It
both
was.
of us. We almost didn't get through that. So, Debbie, what else do you think that the community needs to know about us and how they can help us?
I do know that with the, if you can come out or volunteer, foster, or different things like that, we have the donation canisters around town at different businesses. And,
You're right.
whatever change you have and who wants to carry a whole bunch of change in their pocket,
Right.
just throw it into the donation canister and that money comes directly back to us as well.
Well, that's a very good point. And they can see all of those on our website, which is hswm.org, and it gives you a list of all the businesses that are nice enough to do that for us.
Yep.
So definitely, when we come back, let's do a recap of everything that we've talked about. And you never know, we may throw in something that we didn't talk about. Welcome back to Paw Prints on the Mountain from the Humane Society of the White Mountains. We're missing Tommy Boy, our host today, but Debbie and I are muffling our way through this to bring you, the community, information about the Humane Society. So we are the only Humane Society here, and we are open admission.
Yes.
Which,
For 2 counties,
That's
Navajo and Apache County.
that is correct. You're right on that. And it's a little overwhelming. Last year we took in close to 1,300 animals.
Yep. I think it was right at 1,300.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that, I think that the majority of our animals come in as strays that are never claimed.
Yeah.
And I know that your office staff and myself are always looking at Facebook on the Lost and Found. You watch Craigslist, because we make every effort to be able to get lost pets back home.
Right. And the main thing with the lost pets, I would say the microchip. It's an ID tag that they can't lose. And we do it as a service up there at the shelter for $20. And you don't have to have an appointment for the microchip.
So you do it anytime you're open? Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
what are our operating hours up there for people that don't know?
They are 10:30 to 5, Tuesday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturdays.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. So Debbie, with the microchip, a lot of people still don't understand exactly what it is. Can you kind of explain that?
So the microchip is a really small little device. It's about the size of a grain of rice. And every animal control shelter, vet clinic, they all have a scanner. It's a microchip scanner. And that reads the number. So when that number comes up, we'll call the microchip company that provided the microchip and give them that number, which is now a 15-digit number. So we'll give them that number, and that number will link back to your information as long as it's current. And that the microchip was registered, which we register the microchip for you. So you don't have to do that. But
Good point.
if you just get a microchip and provided by somebody, you want to make sure that it's registered, because if it's not really doing any good.
And how many times do we see that happen too?
A lot.
So and if $20 is too much for somebody, please at least have a caller and use a Sharpie. Put your phone number, and if
Right.
you can get the animal's name, because otherwise we give every animal that comes into us a name. We have to.
Yes,
So-
we do. We want to call them something. We want to talk to them as an individual, not
Right.
hey dog.
Right. So anyway, and then we also talked a little bit about the spaying and neutering. The importance of that. And we have our own spay and neuter clinic where people can get their animals spay and neutered. That number to call to get an appointment is 928-205-7415. And while your animal's there, perfect time to catch up on your vaccinations and also on your microchipping.
Right.
We talked about happy tails.
Yeah, happy tails.
We're exhausted by the end of that day.
Yeah.
And all the volunteers are exhausted by the end of that day. But what a great day.
It's my absolute favorite day of the year, I would think.
Yeah. We have people come from out of state to join us for Happy Tails. So Happy Tails is August 25th at Charlie Clark's in the Orchards. And that is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We have a live auction, silent auction.
Dessert auctions.
Yes.
The Blitz raffles.
Raffle baskets.
And the thrift stores there with their general store.
Yes. So please join us that day. It's from 11 to 5. The best day. You will always put this on your calendar, because what is it? That's always on a Saturday.
Yep.
And our next open day at the shelter, we have people calling saying, when's Happy Tails next
Yep.
year? It's that good of a time. So please join us for that. Volunteer opportunities for Happy Tails, for our shelter,
The doghouse.
for our doghouse thrift shop are just endless. And one of the most unselfish things that somebody can do is give us their time to make a difference in the lives of these homeless animals.
Yep.
So just know that we have all kinds of opportunities. In the wintertime, we talk about people being lonely. They don't have to be lonely. You never have to be lonely. Come
Never.
volunteer with us. Come show these animals the love that they deserve to have.
And even if you can't walk the dogs, or you
Right.
can go spend time with the cats, or even read to the dogs. The dogs love being read to.
They do. We can put you in a quiet room and you can spend some time helping socialize some of the scared ones.
Or if you can't even go to the shelter because you feel it's too sad, you can still come over to the thrift store.
Yes, and we will definitely work you over there too. And the other thing about the volunteering is the fostering. We are
Yes.
in dire need of fostering this time of the year. So just know that if you've got time, if you can make a difference in the lives of these animals, we can use you. Call us at 368-5295. Stop in and see us at our doghouse thrift shop. Every dollar you spend there comes right back to the Humane Society every day to support all the homeless animals that we take care of. Our doghouse hours and days for the summer are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. So please come on in, visit us, see what we have available. And if you can't find it at the doghouse thrift shop, chances are it's not available to find.
Right.
And we do have a new manager there that I'm going to try and bring next month and introduce her here.
That'd be great.
I hope she's as good of a sport as you are about coming and doing this
I
with
hope
us.
she is too.
So we thank you for seeing us at Paw Prints on the Mountain, and please come and join us in making a difference for the animals.